You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps, and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Here's the truth about emotions. They are very slippery. Sometimes we can connect to them so easily, and then other times we're very hit and miss with them. One rehearsal, we've got the feeling, we've felt it, we love the performance, we're buzzing. The next rehearsal, nothing, absolutely nothing. And it's like banging your head against a brick wall. And you cannot understand how you had the emotion in the last rehearsal and this time you don't have it. I asked the members of our Unstoppable Actors Facebook group specifically how they feel when they're reading the script that the scene requires them to cry. Some of them said they felt scared because they questioned whether they could do it or not. Others said they felt under pressure, especially when the description in the scene is very, very descriptive, such as a single tear rolls down her face. And others were saying they felt very challenged. This is completely normal. I freak out too, even now after all the years' experience I've got of acting and all the techniques I've got under my belt. I still freak out. That freak out is normal. The difference is I've got the tools under my belt that I can draw upon after the freak out has faded. And that's what I want to help you with today. So if you are freaking out when you first read in the script that your character breaks down crying with a single tear, or you see that they become enraged where their face becomes deep red like beetroot, or it says that the character responds in surprise. That was definitely one that used to freak me out, surprise, because I always knew leading up to it, it would feel fake. But whatever the description is in the stage directions, I'm here to help you with it. I want to start by sharing an incredible review that Ben Sora left about our 10-week method acting modules. Ben Sora went on to star in a film called Last Days, which was directed by a Hollywood director called Justin Lin. You may know his name from The Fast and the Furious. And Ben also went on to be cast in EastEnders in a great guest lead role. And he's done so much acting work since the 10-week method acting modules. It's been incredible to see his career grow. He left a review that said, "I started my acting journey 5 years ago. I've learned a lot since then and will continue to do so. However, it is Louise at Standby Method Acting Studio who has left a lasting impression. I took her 10-week modules at a time when the world was gripped by COVID and no one knew what the future held. At first, I wasn't sure how training online would benefit me with acting. However, Louise made the process so easy that at times it did not even seem to be online. Louise has the composure, patience, and empathy that is needed to teach. I cannot recommend her strongly enough. She will give you a boost and equip you with the knowledge to take you to the next level of your acting career. She is and will always be my mentor." And that is such a lovely review, but more than anything, I'm super proud of Ben because he came to the modules playing the emotions quite big, and then we managed to get him to a point where they were authentic rather than big and insincere, and that's what's helped him go on and start developing his acting career and get cast in these incredible productions. So if at the end of this episode you really love what you've heard and you really want more, and if your soul is aching for deeper truth in your acting, then this is your invitation to complete an application form for the final module of 2025, which is the effective memory module. This module only comes around once every 4 years, so it won't be available again until 2029. And so I'm inviting you to complete an application form, and I've left the link underneath where you've pressed play, or you can go to bit.ly/the standby method. That's bit.ly/the standby method. So emotions can start to become very complicated, especially when we're reading descriptive stage directions, like the examples that I gave you earlier in the episode. But here's the key to emotions. Firstly, we can't force them, because if we force them, all we're going to do is create more tension in our body. And when we create tension in our body, there's then no space for the emotions to come through. So what we want to do instead is we want to simplify it and strip back the emotions. So most actors without emotional power get jumbled up. And when they're jumbled up internally in their head, the scene comes out jumbled up as well. And jumbled really just means there's inner chaos. It means there's overthinking going on, which leads to worrying. And then when we're worrying, that releases fear. Now, it can be very low level fear. It doesn't have to be intense. But when we are fearful, we then can't access our imagination and our creative ideas. And least of all, we cannot express them. So the overthinking leads to worrying and to fear. And the overcomplicating the emotion leads to forcing and tension in our body, which means there's no room for the emotion to breathe. So when I say we want to strip it back, rather than getting caught up in the stage direction of a single tear rolls down her face, or he becomes so angry, his face is a deep beetroot red, which is going to cause fear in any actor, because you might start thinking, well, how do I make my face go red? What if that doesn't happen? Or what if I can't produce one single tear? Rather than getting caught up in that, let's strip it back and build. What I need you to know is that there are only 6 main emotions. And the easiest thing to do is work with these 6 main emotions. So of course there are more emotions than the 6 I'm going to share with you in a moment, but every other emotion feeds into these. So you've got fear, surprise, joy, anger, disgust, and sadness. So I'll repeat them again. The 6 dominant or 6 main emotions or 6 baseline emotions, whatever you want to call them, are fear, surprise, joy, anger, disgust, and sadness. So let's break them down before I go into how we can strip back to working with one of these 6. Happiness or joy, as we know, is a positive emotion, and it's associated with feelings of pleasure, contentment, well-being. Sadness is the feeling of loss or disappointment or grief. Fear is an emotional response to a perceived threat or danger. Anger is a really strong feeling of displeasure, annoyance, or frustration. Surprise, the one that I always used to struggle with, because I knew on the lead up to it was going to be fake, is a really quick emotional reaction to something that's unexpected or startling. Now, that's the thing that I used to struggle with. I used to struggle with knowing it's actually not unexpected because I'm expecting the response. But we'll come to that shortly. Disgust is a feeling of revulsion or strong disapproval towards something. So these 6 baseline emotions are universal. And when you're early in your emotional work, you really need to be starting with these. Don't overcomplicate it, just make it nice and simple for yourself. So at the start of the scene, you want to ask yourself, which of these 6 baseline emotions is my character feeling? And then at the end of the scene, you will go to that. This is in the preparation work, so this is not in rehearsals. You'll go to the end of the scene and you'll ask yourself the same question. Which of these 6 baseline emotions is my character feeling? Now that is very, very simple, and you're more than capable of figuring that out. What you've then discovered is the character's journey, and this is what will help you make your next performance your best performance, because you're already getting clarity. So you've stepped away from those complicated, scary stage directions. We're working with the 6 baseline emotions. We've figured out what they feel at the beginning of the scene, what they feel at the end of the scene. And then the next step is being able to connect to generate genuine feeling and then express those emotions with sincerity. And one of the questions you can ask yourself to be able to do that is, how do I know this feeling? And that is how, in the early stages of your acting career, you're going to improve your emotional power in scenes, and you're not going to get sucked into those scary, overwhelming stage directions. At this point, you don't need to worry about whether a single tear rolls down the character's face or not. That's not important. What's important is knowing that you can identify the emotions and you know how to connect to them. I mentioned at the beginning of the episode that we've got applications open for the October to December 2025 10-week method acting module, which focuses on effective memory. And effective memory is an incredible method acting exercise that will develop your emotional skills, where you'll be able to connect to any and every emotion on demand every single take that the director asks of you. I'm inviting you to complete an application for that. You just need to go to bit.ly/the standby method. And that's for those of you who know that you want more emotional depth, that you want to develop these emotional skills so that casting directors simply cannot look away from you when they're watching your self-tape. If you want to experience a little bit more of this work in a more practical way, I've also got a free method acting class available for you that I'd love to invite you to. That's happening on Sunday the 28th of September. This is a free masterclass. You can come and get a free place if you are craving more sincerity, more truth, more honesty, more emotional range in your scenes by clicking the link that I've left underneath where you've pressed play. So you can either come and join the free masterclass on Sunday the 28th of September, or you can complete an application form for the 10-week method acting module beginning October. I'll see you in the next episode. I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors Handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.